These days we have a ton of vehicles in the 15 to 25 lakh rupee price bracket that come with 6-seater and 7-seater seating configurations, and the latest is this RV from Kia Motors, the Kia Carens. Now this car will rival a lot of cars, but most naturally people are going to compare this against its Korean sibling, the Hyundai Alcazar, and in this video I'll tell you all the differences between the Kia Carens and the Hyundai Alcazar. Before we get started, make sure to hit the like button and subscribe to the MotorBeam channel. Now in terms of size, there's not a lot of difference between the Kia Carens and the Hyundai Alcazar, but the Kia over here is 40mm longer, 10mm wider and 32mm taller than the Alcazar. Even the wheelbase of the Carens is 20mm longer than that of the Hyundai Alcazar. Now both the cars look quite nice, but the Kia Carens over here has some polarizing bits on the outside, while the Alcazar actually feels more rounded and more proportionate. Now the design of the Hyundai Alcazar also looks a bit more pleasing to the eye. This one does look rather bold. Now even though the Carens is slightly bigger than the Alcazar, in reality this one looks smaller because of its shape and the low slung bonnet, while the Alcazar has more road presence and it does look bigger. Both these vehicles come with LED headlamps, and if we talk about the tire sizes, on the higher variants of the Alcazar you get 215 55 18-inch tires, while on the lower variants you get 215 60 17-inch tires, while on the Kia Carens on the higher variants you get 215 65 16-inch tires, while on the lower variants you get 195 65 15-inch tires. If we talk about the safety features on offer, both these cars are quite loaded. You get 6 airbags, ABS, brake assist, hill start assist control, VSM, ESC, and of course ISOFIX child seat mounts. The Hyundai Alcazar and the Kia Carens also come with TPMS, and thankfully both the cars also get rear disc brakes as standard. Sadly, neither of these cars has been crash tested yet. Now both these vehicles are offered with 6-seater and 7-seater layouts, but on the Kia Carens you get a 6-seater configuration only with the topmost variant, while on the Hyundai Alcazar you get the 6-seater layout with the top 3 variants with petrol, and with the diesel engine you get a 6-seater configuration with the base model as well. Let's check out the third row seat. Okay, so now I'm seated in the third row of the Kia Carens. Space levels are quite average. The knee room is very limited for tall people especially. Headroom is fine. The width of the cabin also seems fine, but getting in and out is extremely easy on both the Hyundai Alcazar and the Kia Carens thanks to the second row seat tumbling down completely, so you have a lot of space to get inside the car. Now the good thing is that in both the cars you get cup holders at the rear. You also get charging points at the rear. In the Kia Carens you get these Type-C USB ports, and the shape of the seat is decent. You can recline the backrest, you can adjust the headrest. Space levels in the third row of the Hyundai Alcazar are not much different. Headroom is more than enough, width is also fine, but the knee room is quite limited for tall people. Now on the Carens, as you saw, you get roof mounted AC vents, but on the Alcazar you get those side mounted AC vents. The Kia Carens also has LED lights at the top. So yes, the third row is decent on both the cars. For kids it is good, but for adults again the knee room could be a big issue. Time to check out the second row of the Kia Carens now. I really love cars with these captain seats in the second row. The comfort levels are pretty good. Even on the Kia Carens, the seat is nice, but the height of the seats does seem to be a bit on the lower side. So for tall people, the top part of the shoulder, it basically pops above the seat, and this could be a slight issue, comfort issue definitely. But again, the headrest also does, for tall people you probably have to stretch the headrest out completely. Now you get these nice sunshades in both these cars, but the good thing about the Hyundai Alcazar is that on the 6-seater variant you get a big console over here with charging ports and all that, and even the armrest is pretty wide on the Alcazar. That lends a premium feel to that car. And also the 6-seater variant of the Alcazar gets these nice pillows on the headrest, which is again a nice comforting feature. On the Kia Carens and on the Hyundai Alcazar you get this table over here, the seat back table, which is a useful feature. And on the Carens you also get roof mounted AC vents and 2 Type-C ports. On the Alcazar you get those regular USB ports. Now getting in and out of both the cars is also pretty easy in the second row as well, because the doors open really wide and both the cars come with very big sized windows. Now the interiors of both the Kia Carens and the Hyundai Alcazar are very nicely appointed, and both the cars come with a gazillion number of features. Now the dashboard of the Hyundai Alcazar looks a bit similar to that of the Hyundai Creta, but on the Alcazar you get a cognac brown color theme for the interior, which looks very premium. The steering wheel, the D-cut steering wheel on the Alcazar is also similar to that of the Creta, but on the Alcazar you get a fully digital instrument cluster with a lot of different themes, and on the Alcazar you also get a blind view monitor and a surround view monitor. Apart from that, a lot of features are also common between both these cars. The Alcazar Alcazar gets Bluelink connected car features. This one gets Kia Connect, and you also get an auto dimming IRVM on both the cars. Now the Hyundai Alcazar gets a panoramic sunroof, the Kia Carens gets a normal size sunroof. Now the quality of the materials inside the cabin is more or less similar on both the cars. The seats offer good comfort on both the cars, but again the height of the seat in the Kia Carens is a bit lower than that of the Hyundai Alcazar. The Hyundai Alcazar also gets a powered driver's seat, while the Kia Carens gets manually adjustable driver's seat. Now the driving position on both the cars is also pretty good, and on both the cars you get a 10.25-inch touchscreen with Bose speakers. You get 8 speakers on both the cars with a variety of connectivity options, and of course the sound quality is very nice. Thankfully both the cars come with front ventilated seats, and it is now time to get driving. Okay, so the Kia Carens and the Hyundai Alcazar come with the same diesel engine, which is a 1.5 litre unit making 115 PS and 250 Newton meters. You get a 6-speed manual or a 6-speed torque converter on both the cars, and on the automatic variants of both the cars you get normal, eco and sport driving modes. Now the engine is decent in terms of performance. It does not feel very punchy in these big cars, but on cars like the Sonet and the i20, which get the same engine, the engine feels a lot more punchier. Now again, the drivability offered on these cars is pretty decent. I mean, you cannot have a very exciting drive with this engine on these big cars, but for normal driving I think you really won't have a reason to complain. And the engine also offers very good fuel economy, so on city roads you'll get around 14-15, on highways you will get around 19-20 also. Now on the Hyundai Alcazar automatic you also get snow, sand and mud traction modes. This is something which is missing on the Kia Carens. Now if you talk about the petrol engines, well, here there is a massive difference, because the Hyundai Alcazar gets a 2-litre naturally aspirated petrol engine shared with the Hyundai Tucson, and this one makes 159 PS and 191 Newton meters. This gets a 6-speed manual or a 6-speed torque converter. Now this engine is extremely refined and performance is also very nice, but it has a tendency to drink fuel, so you can get around 7 to 8 kilometers per litre in the city and around 11-12 out on the highways. Meanwhile, if we talk about the petrol engines of the Kia Carens, on this car you get two petrol engines. The first one is a 1.5 litre naturally aspirated engine making 115 PS and around 144 Newton meters. This engine is offered on the Seltos, Creta, Verna and the likes, and again this is a decent engine, not too punchy but offers linear drivability. It is very smooth. And the second petrol engine offered on the Kia Carens is a 1.4 litre turbo petrol engine. Again, this is something which is offered on the Hyundai Creta and the Kia Seltos. This engine makes around 140 horses and 242 Newton meters. Now the turbo petrol engine is extremely punchy in terms of the drivability that it offers, and it offers a fun driving experience, but none of these cars, the Hyundai Alcazar and the Kia Carens, are something you would call exciting cars to drive around. Both of them drive in a very neutral manner. Both of them are family oriented vehicles, so you have to treat them like those and they won't disappoint you. The ride quality on both the cars is good, but the Alcazar with its bigger 18-inch tires feels more grippier. Meanwhile, with the Carens you get a subtle 16-inch tire layout, which is again decent. The ride quality over bad roads is good on both the cars, but yes, some sharp undulations do tend to filter, especially inside the Hyundai Alcazar. Thankfully, both the cars get rear disc brakes, so braking performance is not much of an issue with either of these vehicles. So which one should you buy, the Hyundai Alcazar or the Kia Carens? Well, right now we do not know the exact pricing of the Kia Carens, but the Hyundai Alcazar can be yours for rupees 19.5 to rupees 24.3 lakhs on road Mumbai, and this one is expected to be slightly more value for money. And because of the low priced 1.5 litre MPI variants, the Carens could have a starting on-road price of around 12.5 lakhs, which could be a lot more value for money than the starting variants of the Hyundai Alcazar. So now the Carens and the Alcazar, both the cars come with a lot of features. They are high on practicality and comfort, and of course the powertrain, the diesel engine is the same on both the cars, but there is a massive difference in the petrol engines, and yet it is the Hyundai Alcazar which feels a bit more premium compared to the Kia Carens. Now for those people who are on a budget and who want something which is more value for money, they would probably have a lot of interest in the Kia Carens, while for people who don't mind stretching a bit for getting something more premium, I think those people will like the Hyundai Alcazar. Thank you guys for watching this video. I really hope you liked it. Let me know your pick out of these two vehicles in the comment section below.